So here we are. This is a view from Taras Tarczyn. And as you see, there is the Karkonosze very close by, and, with its clouds coming from Czech Republic and the winds coming from Western Europe.
Wind of change.
Yeah, it's a microclimate here, and often you can see the rain falling on the mountains there, and this stays dry. Somehow it is very quiet on this hill, and that's also one of the reasons that I came to Poland, of course. The dark nights and the stillness of the landscape. It's very quiet, and yeah, you also get relaxed more easily in a quiet surroundings, I believe. And that was also one of the main reasons that I came here to Poland, that here I can experience silence and the wind in the trees, the birds in the trees, the rain on the roof, you know, all these little things that remind me of my great youth in Holland, and that I like to be with. So, hi.
Hi, Uriana.
Dzień dobry.
How are you?
Bardzo dobrze, dziękuję. I'm Uriana Hopmana. I'm a Dutch-born artist. I am 62 years old, and I came here 20 years ago. Actually, 25 years ago, I came for the first time to Poland as a designer for a Dutch company who made boomki, Christmas decoration, and that was here in Slowhop, not so far from here. It was my first visit in Poland, yeah. We didn't know nothing about Poland at that time. It was just after the revolution. And I was in Prague with my school when I was 18 years old. And I really liked that. That was a great journey. But for the rest, I had no idea what happened in Eastern countries. But here it was special because I found out afterwards, when I came home, the history about Dolny Śląsk. And then I see, it was a cultural landscape that I was driving through. And it kept in my mind and in my heart. And then I decided to go back on holiday. And for many years I came here visiting as a tourist. And then 5 years later I decided to buy something, to go back to Poland and start looking for a house. That had a special reason. At that time I was living in a village just outside Amsterdam with only artists, and that was very interesting community, especially for me as an artist. I could do a lot of theater, and we worked together in the Amsterdam Balloon Company. It's a theater company, but unfortunately a lot of houses had to be demolished because a harbor came. Also the nature area around the village that we tried to protect for many, many years, it was lost because of the harbor. My house was, of course, also taken by the industry, and that was the moment for me to go to Poland. At that moment when I came here, there was hardly any economy. So, you know, if I needed a stone for my house, people said, "Oh, I have a stone, and we can change for something," or, you know, nobody's ever talking about money. Later that changed, of course. You know, they discovered the power of money, and of course that's also part of it. And I have no objections to that. But that changed the culture. But at that moment when I came here, it was for me beautiful and very calming effect that had on me. We call this a farmer baroque. It is the baroque from the countryside. They made it look like a very beautiful shafa and cupboards that they find in palaces and in old castles. But of course there was no photography. So what they did is they painted from what they heard. And then you see that it is beautifully done, actually, very nice atmosphere. It's a bit faded, it's a bit gone. I have repaired it with an old piece of wood from a barrel, and my 70s vases from West Germany that I find on Tark were good with this patina. And these pieces of wood are from an old castle, the staircase of an old castle that was thrown away, and I saved it and I made shelves of it to show my collection that I made during the years. It is Baroque tiles. Here and there you can see the fingerprints or thumbprints from the people who made them, and you can see footprints of animals walking over the wet material. I found it when it looked like that. Mm-hmm. You see there is a layer of paint over it, and I took away the paint.
Keeping the picture upside down.
Oh, I see. Well, it looks almost the same upside down. But this cupboard I find on the attic of an antique dealer. He collected it over the years. It was covered with oil paint or some strange substance, and I cleaned it, and there was a beautiful painting under it. It is also farmer baroque. It's we would call that naive or primitive painting or art brut, but it has beautiful atmosphere, and it says something about the neighborhood, about the area where I live in. This is typical for this region. Lower Silesia and more precise, Grifovslavski and Jelenia Góra had their own workshops, and you can recognize on the style and the colors which workshop it was. Mm-hmm. This is the same style as that kufr. You can see the orange and the green is repeating, so you could say it is a house style, the first design that they made, and they used the same patterns, which was it was extraordinary, you know. It's the first, it's the start of producing in series, perhaps. And I love this style because they try to imagine the style of the old castles, and you see that in these Baroque elements. And very happy angel, she's holding a glass of wine. I had made in Senegal. At that time, it was still for sale, the Dembe wood. It grows in Casamance. It grows very slow, it's very hot there, and that is why the wood is very hard, and even the skin stays solid. And this, for example, this wooden stool is from this region, and this friend is a block of wood that came from a hospital, and they cut the meat in the kitchen on this element. I made the design and he worked it out. And after that, we burned it with a flame in the gas bottle, and so that's why it's so dark black. After that, I put wosk over it, so that is another way of recycling, to give it another skin and give it an extra life. There's a lot of culture, yeah. I'm very happy that the people make money now and there's prosperity. Of course, there's a group of people that could not cope with the changes for some reason. Some older people, for example, there was so many changes that for them it was, I guess it was not so easy. But many people took the chance, and I see that they have a better life now. And so the prosperity came, and that is fantastic to see. I'm really happy for my friends and my neighbors that they have better life now, for most of them. At that time I also chose Poland because it was not difficult for me to be home fast. My mother was still alive. She became older, and I wanted to be, when something happened, I wanted to be fast home. And 1,000 kilometers you can drive in one day. And I did regularly. I see my friends, my family, of course. I still have brothers and sisters there. Last year we had a nice family gathering, and all of my family was here, most of my family. We had a nice party before Corona. It was very special, and they all liked it here.
Pre-Corona party.
Pre-Corona party, yeah, that's history now. So now we go upstairs, and as you can see, there is a relationship between outside and inside. The architecture of the place is, the idea behind the architecture is that we put a new modern building on top of the old ruin. And here starts the story from the modern version of this house. And you can recognize it from the skin of the house. We use that same technique here. It is also burned. In Japanese they call it wabis. No, they call it, I don't know, I forgot, sorry, cut that out. It's a Japanese technique. You burn the wood, so the oils of the wood come out and form a layer that protects the wood, together with the dirt from the ashes from the burning and the oils from the wood. It has a hard protective skin. And then I put linseed oil. So it is an ecological process. Welcome to my eco house. Come on upstairs. And here is where we join the courses that are given here in Tarczyn. There is yoga, there is healings and shamanistic trainings, and all sorts of trainings you can find in Tarczyn, in Taras Tarczyn, I must say. Tarczyn is a very nice, sweet village where we organize every year a festival. I mean, not we, the Oppenheim in Wrocław. They organize a festival here every year. It's a cultural picnic, and it is always in May, in the weekend, and they sell really beautiful products from the region, and people show their skills. There is art, there is performances. It's a very interesting Flowlands festival to join. This is a drawing that I made many years ago when I lived in Switzerland as a gardener, and I had problems with my leg, so I draw the leg and the paint coming out of it or something. It has to do with the freedom and where you're standing, you know, in life. And this is, the original is very small, and this is a print. It comes in a limited edition. This table is made of a really old wood by firma Embassy. They are a local firma, and they make excellent lamps and tables and furnitures. And they put this table here to show what is possible with the different materials, the combination of old metal and wood, and how to recycle these materials. In the beginning, it was not my intention. I had lots of land. I bought land because I am trained as a gardener, and I was trying to put grika and trying to put flowers, but my heart was not there anymore. My heart was with different things. So I tried out few things, and some were successful, some were less successful. But after a couple of years, I decided maybe it's good to rent some apartments because the house was so big. And I started in the stodoła, in the shed. And slowly, I built more rooms. And I thought, maybe I can rent some room. And I like interior design. So it was also fun for me to start decorating the place. I bought it from a farmer.
Okay.
It was privately owned. And it was not a monument or protected or anything. And I basically built a new house. That's why I also get permission to build, because I used the old walls, but I basically built a new house. So this is the smallest village from Dolny Śląsk, Tarczyn, and it is built on a hill. It started thousands of years ago, and that was the time that they still build on hills. I don't know exactly for what reason, but probably to see the enemy going, because 800 years ago they start building in the valleys, close to the rivers, and where it was safe and also less cold. But because we are on a village, the view is spectacular. It's one of the most beautiful views of Karkonosze, they say. I was interested in art. I come from a family who was interested in art. My mother was a painter. My brother is a famous artist in Holland, and so there's a lot of artists in my family. And so,
what's his name?
Philip Hopman. Check it out.
I will.
Yeah, he's an excellent illustrator of children's books. It's very important that I keep doing that, because I don't only have agrotouristic. My passion is interiors and gardening, being in nature. So I'm planning a vegetable garden, so we can provide our guests fresh vegetables from our own garden. I'm designing a garden at the moment. I'm busy building up a dining room. So my passion goes into choosing the colors and the fabrics and refurbishing furniture. So I go to the Pritark and the flea market and search for treasures there that I can use in the dining room. And I also make abat-jour for lamps and things like that. So I just like to do that now, be busy with that. You know, we're not rich and we don't have to be rich, but when there is some financial sources, we like to expand. And at this moment, for our guests, we would like to make a space that they can sit inside and enjoy the dinner with a beautiful view. So that is our next project. And of course, I like to work on the garden. It is the structure is there. I like to put some more tulips, perhaps. It is people have heart for the customers. I am a customer from Slowhop. No, I'm a client. I belong to the community of Slowhop, and I feel and I read that they are committed to their clients and to their guests. No, and they provide high quality in their technique, in their pictures, and they select rigidly, and not just anybody can come on Slowhop. Is my impression. So I'm also honored that I can be there. No, yeah, I think it's an excellent tool for Polish people, especially, to find nice places in nature that are personal and sometimes a little bit off track, a little bit isolated. And places that they can enjoy nature and enjoy personal style.
minutę?
No, I have not even 10 seconds. I am in an interview for television.
Piękne i klimatyczne miejsca. Niesamowici ludzie i ich niesamowite historie, zapierające dech w piersiach krajobrazy. To jest coś, czego szukam w swoich podróżach. Mam nadzieję, że odnajdziecie to w moich filmach i że jakoś Was zainspirują do tego, żeby wyjść z domu i poznawać nowe. Jeżeli podoba Wam się moja praca, proszę Was, nie dawajcie lajków, nie zostawiajcie komentarzy. Powiedzmy stop płytkim relacjom zapisanym w cyfrach. Natomiast będzie mi niezmiernie miło, jeżeli postanowicie udostępnić ten film osobom, które być może jakoś się tą serią zainspirują. A jeżeli chcecie wspomóc rozwój tego kanału, zawsze możecie zostać moim patronem. Tyle na dzisiaj. Jedziemy zobaczyć kolejne piękne miejsca. Do zobaczenia.